Man, I really want to do a video where I draw myself in different content creator art styles. That sounds like a lot of fun. I could pick like 5, maybe 10 artists. Probably can get this done in a couple of weeks.
4 to 6 weeks later.
What the fuck? Hey yo, what's up? My name's Cryzeros. I like gaming, drawing, and eating apps without utensils. I love drawing myself in different styles. I draw myself in the Persona 3 Reload and OG sprites just for funsies. And I love seeing those Square Bingo other artists too, where they draw themselves in different styles. I've always wanted to do that myself. What really pushed me to finally get my ass down and draw was binging the shit I was building and seeing that they did 3 episodes about drawing themselves in different art styles. I saw that and went snap, crackle, pop, I want to make a video like that. I thought maybe making a response video where I drew myself in the same style as they did, but then I kept staring at their little guys and I decided, nah, I want to look just like that. So I started writing down a list of artists for my little project here. I was thinking, maybe around 10 would be a good idea, but I kept looking at more art styles I wanted to try, and then the list kept growing. Eventually, I had a list of around 25 different artists down. Now, I'm insane, but I knew if I didn't cut myself off, I would want to keep adding. So ultimately decided on 15 different art styles, and with that, I was ready to go. Before I jump into the art, I just want to talk about some guidelines I followed. Nothing too strict, just some things to help with the process. First thing, artists are not always consistent with their art styles. What I mean by that is though they may have some rules that they follow, like how they draw hair or shade clothes, it doesn't mean they always do those same techniques every time. I drew Daisy 5 times in the span of 1 week, and let me tell ya, they do not all look the same. So when trying to mimic the style, I get a bunch of references of their art and look for similarities between them all, instead of just finding one drawing going off of that. I really try to focus most of my attention on people who draw hair and eyes. I feel like you can tell a lot about artists by these 2 alone. Number 2, using up-to-date art. People's art styles change throughout the years, so finding someone's drawing from 2010 won't be much help when I'm trying to use 2025 references. Number 3, drawing the essentials. I have a design that doesn't always match the art styles of others, maybe the hair, eyes, whatever. So when I drew myself in these styles, I made sure to keep things that would still identify me as me, but sometimes leave out things that didn't work with that art style. I did my best to always have X in my eyes, hoodie, and floofy hair with the ahoges. And one last thing, not really a guideline, just something fun I thought I would do. I draw myself with an ahoge that changes hair color depending on emotion and stuff, so I thought it'd be fun to use the hair color of the artist or a color that's associated with them. Now we can finally get into the art, yippee! First artists I went with were the ones who inspired me to do this project in the first place, Spilled Ink! Daidus and Emirichu have really amazing fun, colorful art styles. Just a quick side note, I don't know anything about Love and D-Space, but Emirichu, I know Caleb now, thanks to her. I don't fucking know anything else. The only thing I know is that she really wants to fuck Caleb. And when I saw their sprites of themselves, I adored them so much, I wanted to draw myself in them so badly. First I started with Daidus, mostly because I like his blue line art and chill, hey bro what's up, art style vibe. What really helped me out with these 2 though is that they actually did a video where they sketched out new sprites for themselves, so I basically had that on repeat for 10 hours while I also studied screenshots of the sprites. That is style I felt like I got pretty easily. I like how he draws hair nice and fluffy, and the tired eye look is something I would draw myself with. I really like his normal talking sprite and wanted to do something similar, though making sure it wasn't just one-to-one with the reference. I wasn't used to using blue primary for line art though, and Daidus' colors are really bright compared to my color palette, so even though I wanted to originally use the same blue that he uses, I ended up making it darker to better go with my own design. I also wanted to replicate one of my own sprites in this style, so I went with my sweating sprite, because I thought it best suited how he draws these big ass eyes. I use a dry ink pen for the line art, even though it's not one-to-one with his, but that's the best I can find. For shading and lighting, it was very simple, since he only does a minimal amount and sometimes there's no lighting at all. For lighting, I just put a bit of white where I felt it would go, and just a splash of shading on the skin and back hair. And to end it off, I went to his YouTube channel and saw a video where he drew Daidus in this really cute shady style, and I thought, hey, I want to draw myself like that too. So just added that on for some fun variety. It's so doofy and adorable. I love it. And to top it off, I made my Hoge color his blue hair color. Daidus' style was overall a lot of fun. I love his expressions, his line art, and how he draws hair. It was a lot of fun to draw myself in this style. Next up was Emirichu, which I admit I struggled a bit on the start. I love her cutesy, adorable chibi, but wasn't sure how to tackle drawing myself in it at first, since I was only using her sprites as a reference. I then did some digging, found an episode they did with Joey the Anime Man, and went, well, this is close enough to Mexican, sure, and primarily used his sprites for anatomy reference. Really glad I found this, because I was at a loss on how to draw my hair here. Like I said, Emi's style is very cutesy, and I love drawing cutesy things. I like how she draws big bright eyes with a little bit of color, and using brown for line art was something I didn't notice she did until studying the sprites. Her expressions are also top notch. Her range can go from sweet to what the actual fuck, and I love that. Though the first sprite was just a basic pose, I wanted the second one to be just as expressive as her sprites. So I redrew my own screaming sprites since she had two amazing references I could use. I also drew my hair exaggerated like I normally would, mostly because in her second screaming sprite she actually does do that, so it gave me free reign to do it myself. Shading and lighting were similar to Daidus, so it was pretty easy, just some white for lighting and a little bit of shading for the skin. I also drew myself with some blush because she draws herself with it, and I think it's really cute. She actually lighted Joey's hair differently to how she lights her own, but I decided to keep the simple white since I liked it more. And to top it off, my Hoge color was now her brown hair color. I thought about going for pink since that's her favorite color, but decided to only use her hair color since I did the same with Daidus. Emi's sprite style was a delight to draw in. I love how it's kawaii as fuck, but also can be extreme when the expression calls for it. Also, she wears a black and white sweater, and as a black and white clothes wearer myself, I felt very seen. Now this next one is a style I've been wanting to do for a while, Tanuki Lab. For those unfamiliar, Tanuki Lab is a channel of artists where they play fun art games, and sometimes they want to fuck your OCs, or in my case, parents. Still not over that. How could you betray me like this? Anyways, I've been a big fan since day one, and the unique sprites are a big reason why. I love how adorable they are and the big ass Kingdom Hearts hands and feet, and that everyone has their own unique set of earphones. The sprites were made in collab effort between two artists, Wibble Squid and Alex Aceto. Sorry if I said it wrong. They do a great job every time a new guest comes on. I'm always excited to see how they interpret their designs. Onto the actual drawing, like I said, they have those Kingdom Hearts hands and feet, and I think that's awesome. This style was a lot more flexible to work with than I originally thought it would be, since I had so many different references to look at. For the Hoge color, I made it the shade of green the mascot, Render, is, and gave myself a pair of black and white X earphones. Not much more to say here. I love the style, it was a blast to draw in, and I love watching Tanuki videos in the background. I've shown them a fair bit too. These are all great people, great artists, and everyone should like, comment, and subscribe to them. And me too if you want, but if you don't want to, that's okay. I mean, next up, we have GinjaNinjaOwO, also known as Good Afternoon June, or actually Ray. They're one of the members of Tanuki Lab, so I thought, hey, they would be perfect to go for next. And I adore their art style so much. The colors, the expressions, it's so vibrant and gorgeous, and I just want to eat it like Kirby and become a cookie yaoi art god himself. Onto the drawing. Admittedly though, I did have some trouble with this art style at the start, more than I thought I would honestly. I grabbed a lot of references from their YouTube sprites, Twitter posts, or anything else I could find, but there wasn't anything I could find that I felt matched my own style, so I had to do some guesswork. I decided to first sketch one of their sprites to get a better feel for the style, since just raw dogging it wasn't working out for me. It helped, but my first attempt I wasn't really proud of. I felt I got the line art and colors down, but the overall anatomy, I felt I could do a lot better, so I went in for a round 2, and I was a lot happier with the final product. I felt I captured their vibrant style a lot better here. It was fun coloring in the line art. In the shading and lighting, I also had a blast with, since I got to use a bunch of different colors instead of the typical one shade of purple I would normally use for shading. And the colorful hair lighting, I adore so much, it's so gay and adorable! And for the Hoge, I made it the same color as their own Hoge. I thought it was the best color to go with. And the Hoge itself was really easy to draw since they draw themselves to the one. This ended up being one of my favorite drawings of the entire project. I already adored June's style, so getting to try it for myself and somewhat succeeding felt great and awesome and fucking I just love their art so much. Makes me want to use more vibrant colors in my own drawings. After June, I thought I should do one more Tanuki Lab member. So, next up we have GetMadz. Originally, I just wanted to do the art style from his thumbnails, which are also drawn by Wibblesquid. But Madz is a great 3D artist. They have this adorable mean-spired, or you can say mean-spired art style that is just the cutest thing ever. So I wanted to try out for myself, but since I don't know how to use a blender, I thought, hey, maybe I can make a drawing look like a 3D model. I did not do well. And funny enough, while I was working on this exact drawing, he comes out and updates its fucking art style right when I finished it. Well, I can at least say I tried my best. For the 2D style, it was a lot easier though. It kind of felt similar to June's art style, but a lot more baby and a bit more cartoony. The lighting was the highlight of this style. Never really did lighting like this before, and it was a lot of fun trying out for myself, especially with the eyes. Just a really fun drawing experience all around, honestly. I made my Hoge the same hair color as Madz to top it all off. Though I utterly failed at the 3D style, Aaron was salty about finishing right when he updated his art style. I'm really proud of how the 2D one came out, and drawing hair super big and fluffy is always a fun time. Wiggles and Madz, they both have 10 out of 10 art styles, would definitely treat to a dinner at Tim Hortons, maybe even go to Wendy's afterwards, who knows. On to the next one, we have Jaiden Animations, or as I like to call her, Jaiden Animations. So originally I was just going to draw myself in her YouTube art style, the one most people know her for. But then I saw her profile picture and said, man, she looks so tired. I want to draw myself like that. So before I jumped into the art style most people are familiar with, I drew myself in her profile picture style. And man, it was a lot of fun. And I know I've been saying that about every single art style I've done so far, but dude, just doing different art styles is so much fun, what can I say? The style itself was a lot more simple than I expected. This was the first time I drew my hair with so many curves. I decided that instead of just drawing the style, I just wanted to redo her entire profile picture, but with myself. So I ended up making the background and everything else matched the profile exactly, but with green instead of purple. And I made my Hoge her signature purple color. I think it complemented the green pink bangs a lot. Right after finishing that, I went straight into her YouTube art style. At first, I didn't know if I wanted to keep my skin white like how they do in the videos, or keep it the same skin tone. So I dug around and saw they actually do keep the skin tone for people of color the same instead of just white. So I did exactly that. Though something I didn't realize until looking back at the references, typically they keep the mouth colors white to match with the skin, but for people of color, they actually color in the mouths. Which, yeah, makes sense, doesn't make it stand out as much. But I didn't realize this until writing this script, so whoops. I also tried to add axes in my eyes, but I felt like it just didn't work in this style, at least from how I was trying it. I'm sure there's a way to make it work naturally, but I just decided to leave it out for this one. I don't draw a lot of cartoony art typically, so getting to draw myself in the Jaiden Animations art style was just really fun, honestly. It's kind of like Madz, but even more cartoony. And for the profile picture art style, I originally just had the Jaiden Animations videos art style, but I just really liked that profile picture and wanted to try it out. So thank you, Jaiden, for giving me 2 fun art styles to try out. We're now halfway through, so let's continue on to the next artist. Now this one, oh man, I've been wanting to do this for years. TerminalMontage. I love his videos, and his art style is so distinct you can tell right away that it's him. It's so goofy, silly, fucking hilarious, I love it. Now with TerminalMontage, I didn't want to do just one drawing. I want to draw myself in 3 different expressions of his that I think are great. First off, I wanted to do his typical face. Iconic, no thoughts, head empty look that I can relate to. I feel that every day in my soul, my core, in my heart, and my soul, but again. After that, there's this one face in Ocarina of Time videos that I just love, and I just really want to do it, especially the hands and how broken they are. I love it. And thirdly, and the third, probably his most iconic expression. Now, Funny enough, I had a bit of trouble doing this at first since I was trying to get it right on the money and kept not liking how it looked. But ultimately we got there, and for the Huggy color, I made it the same hair color as how he draws himself. I knew that when I started this project, TerminalMontage style was 100% one that I want to try my hand at, and drawing 3 very expressive faces isn't something I can do with a lot of other art styles like this. And it was just really fun drawing my body in ways that looks like I should definitely be in a hospital. Honestly, we should also be drawing ourselves with broken limbs, arms, body parts, and etc. just because it's fun. Also, Hair Dorito. Hair Dorito is very cool. Next up, we have another double art style with Candy Evie. Candy Evie's videos are very enjoyable. I like to throw them on the background just because I like hearing her voice and the topics she talks about. So she has 2 art styles, and I was kind of torn between the 2. She has her sprite art style and her doodle art style. At first, I just wanted to pick one, but then I was like, you know what, why not just do both? I mean, I like both. And since the art styles are pretty simple anyways, it wasn't that much extra work. Starting with her sprite art style, again, I did have a little bit of trouble with this one at first. I've been saying that a lot, huh? Mostly with how to draw the hair. From what I could find, she's only ever drawn herself in this style, except for this one thumbnail where she drew True Queen 7, though that didn't help too much since he's rocking a pomp and I have a shroomies on my head. So I said, heck it, I'm just gonna raw dog it. And raw dog it I did, and it kinda worked out. Thought I would try something a little more fun with this design. Since she draws herself with Evie ears, I thought, hey, why don't I draw myself with my favorite Pokemon's features to match hers? So I gave myself Bulbasaur ears. And for the Hokage, instead of making it like her hair color, I made it look like the symbols on Bulbasaur's forehead. I even came up with my own name for this. Since her name is Candy Evie, I think this dude's name would be Muffin Bulba. I don't know, I just thought it'd be cute. And since this was a sprite, I thought it would be cool to redraw one of my own sprites in this style. So I looked around and I saw this sprite that I really liked where she has her arms spread right open like she's gonna give a big Ursaluna hug. And I have an arms up sprite already, so it felt like a good natural fit. As soon as I finished the sprite, I went straight into a doodle art style. I love her spaghetti noodle arms and the inner workings of my mind are an enigma face. Just like Jaiden's, the X eyes didn't work well, so I scrapped it. And also, no one wears pants in this style, which is epic in base and probably the only time I can draw myself with no pants publicly without getting yelled at by several mothers. Candy Evie, yeah, 2 10 out of 10 art styles, they are based as heck, and one day Muffin Bulba will be real. Or won't, I don't know. Now, for the next art style here, it's a bit of an interesting case. So originally I wrote down the GameGrumps Gets art style and Lythero's thumbnail art style, but when I looked into it, I realized, oh, the same person does both. And that artist is called Crooked Glasses. Their art style is amazing, by the way. You should really check it out if you haven't yet. Anyways, since it was the same artist, I just decided to put the GameGrumps and Lythero into one big circle sandwich pie thing. I'm actually already familiar with this art style since back when GameGrumps were doing their Danganronpa 2 playthrough, I drew Chiaki Nanami as if she was on GetMadz, so I wasn't going in blind like the other art styles with this one. Drawing Crooked Glasses art style was actually really helpful for me for my personal art. I drew the sharp edge line art, and Crooked is amazing at drawing sharp edge line art, so drawing this felt a lot more natural than the others. Also, the use of symbols for lighting and other colored features is something I started doing more of after this drawing my own art. I need to study their art more, it's just so fucking amazing. And for the Hokage, I was just kinda stumped at first, but then I just made it the GameGrumps colors because I had no other ideas. I know I just drew the GetMadz art style, but I'm still counting this as both GameGrumps and Lythero. Hopefully that's okay. It'll make more sense later why. Now, this next one is very personal to me, and I'm really happy I finally got to draw myself in this style. It made my inner child extremely happy. EddsWorld is a channel that I've watched since 2006. I was 6 years old, Jesus Christ. I would draw the characters all the time in my class. His art made me want to animate me and my friends in silly scenarios just like he did. He even had a theme song that's been burned in my brain after listening to it non-stop on repeat. I'm not sure, but I feel like my love of hoodies may have also started here, since I loved Ed's green hoodie a lot. I also felt like he looked a lot like me when I was a kid, which made me even more attached to him. Rest in peace, Ed. Thank you for always inspiring me and so many other kids. Oh, so sorry if this part sounded weird. I kinda just went off script just for this one. Now, when it came to the art style, I knew I wanted to do the modern art styles, but I also really wanted to do the 2006 era style, the one I grew up with. So I decided I'm gonna do both, and that's exactly what I did. First, I drew myself in the modern art style. For the hoodie, I simplified it to just be black and white instead of having all the fun designs I normally draw on it. Thought it better matched the EddsWorld universe like this. And a hoge was just the green like Ed's hoodie. I almost made it a Coca-Cola can a hoge, but the green is fine. Now for the old art style, I took a lot of inspiration from the Moving Targets episode where they all joined the army. I turned my stabilizers down to 0 way off to give it a more MS Paint feel. And for the coloring, I turned the saturation way up to really give her that 2006 feel. I also tried not to erase too much, and if I messed up, I just kept going. If 6-year-old me could see this, they would go fucking bananas over it. Again, thanks Ed for inspiring me when I was a kid, and now I can't see a Coca-Cola without thinking about sugar, sugar, oh honey, honey. And quick pause right here, because around the time I started the next art style drawing, I got carpal tunnel. Yeah. I couldn't draw for over a month, and even now I'm still wearing a wrist brace because of the lingering effects. That's why this took so fucking long to finish, because I lost a month of drawing because God hates me. Not being able to draw for over a month was fucking torture. So as soon as I was ready and able again, I got back right to this project. I started the next art style right when it hit too, and it made me so frustrated. I was 3 styles away from having this complete, and now I had to wait a fucking month to continue. All that to say, I really hope you guys have been enjoying the video and all the artwork. I put a lot of effort into this project, even after being extremely demoralized, and I would just love to hear what you guys think about the video or the art or whatever. Sorry, I just really wanted to get that out there. Anyways, now we can get back to the art. Now up next in the corner, we have ShinyCatherine's thumbnail art. These are all drawn by Edward, a great artist with a very colorful and vibrant art style that's just so pleasing to my eyeballs. For this one, I thought it'd also be fun, kind of like what I did with Candy Evie, that I draw myself in a more unique way. Since Catherine is usually wearing a Pokemon uniform from Scarlet and Violet in the drawings, I would draw myself in one of the uniforms too. I chose the Uba and Cami Winter Fit because that's my favorite of the 4. So originally I started sketching out the first one before I had to stop drawing because of the carpal tunnel, and at the time I really didn't like how it was turning out. Probably because of the carpal tunnel now thinking about it. So after over a month went by, I decided to just start it over from scratch. And yeah, good call. I think I did a lot better the second time around. I also really like how Ed draws the glasses kind of looking like Splatoon Inkling eyes. That's a really cute detail. Though right when I finished the line art, I realized I had used the wrong pen. So I had to go re-line art the line art now with the proper pen. But now the liner was done and dusted, so yippee wahoo! And then to play to the Pokemon theme more, I turned my heart-shaped necklace into a Mega Stone necklace. Cause why not? It's a Pokemon. And for the Hoge color, I made it the light purple color of Catherine's hair. Edward, your art style was tough for me at first, but once I got the hang of it, I began enjoying drawing in it a lot. And for some fun, I decided to add a background that was inspired by this thumbnail. Look at that little smile and feeling for its life. Same, buddy. Same. You ever just wake up one day and think, I want to be anime? Not anime, but anime. Well, let me introduce you to Moxy 2D. this art style, I have never felt so anime in my life. Moxy 2D, an artist I've been following since I was 15, has always been a big inspiration for me. I think his melee art in 2015 blew my fucking mind. It's a style that I immediately fell in love with. It had it all. It was badass, it was bright, it was shiny, it was unique, and it was perfection.
Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
I always loved this H-box drawing. Just a grown-ass man powering up to Super Saiyan with his girl Jigglypuff just looks so badass and oddly adorable. Going through this art style, I was a bit nervous. I've never done anything in this anime style before. I consider it different from the Persona 3 Reload art I did, so I really didn't want to mess it up. I grabbed as many references as I could, and even asked Moxy himself for advice in his Discord to make sure I was on the right track. When I really got down to it though, I found that it was really natural to draw in. I kinda got lost in the drawing. The hair was my favorite part by far. Shading it and lining was so much fun. I also love the little strands of hair he does that just pop out. So cute. Now the eyes were great to color in. How he does eyes is really majestic looking to me, and I think I did a pretty good job at replicating how he does it. And for the Hoge, made the color of Moxy's hair. Side note, I love how he colors and draws his hair. It has a very Super Saiyan feeling to it, which makes a lot of sense if you've seen his art. I learned a lot from this style that I've been able to transfer into my own art, with coloring especially, and learning new lighting techniques and fucking hair techniques. And it just feels really cool seeing myself in an art style that I've looked up to since I was a teen. But really just seeing myself in all these styles is just really cool. If you've ever wanted to try out someone's art style, I go for it. It's really fun. We're finally here. It's the final art style. ScottFalco. ScottFalco's art is so simple and clean. It's one I would see and think, man, I want to make some clean ass art like that. It seems so easy at first, but when you get into it, there's a lot more going on than you would expect. It's a great blend of cartoony and anime, which I adore. His expressions for his PNG tuber are also top notch, and not gonna lie, his robot OC CC makes me feel some way. That was stupid. She's adorable as fuck. When I started, I actually did panic a little, since all the references I could find were either big titty anime women or himself, a not big titty anime woman. So I tried my best with what I had and went to town. When I actually finished the sketch, I got a lot more confidence in the drawing, and even more confidence when I finished the line art. I felt like I actually became the Birdman himself. Also, again, big ass eyes are always fun to draw, and I think the X eyes work really well here. Scott has his own ahoge in his design, so I just took that ahoge color scheme and plopped it on my own, and bada bing bada boom, I had become ScottFalco. I just realized I should have named this section ScottFalco's art style with a side of salt. Get it? Because he has a series on YouTube called it. Having this be the last art style felt really good, especially after finishing the extreme anime style of Moxy. Going to a more simpler, cartoony style was just what the gay doctor ordered. And there you have it, 15 art styles from 14 different artists. I've always wanted to do this kind of art challenge style video thing, so I'm glad I finally got it done. Even after being extremely demoralized from not being able to draw for a month, getting that final drawing done just felt so good. No, I'm not done yet. During my month hiatus from drawing, I kept thinking about this video and the best way to end it. And that's when I had the best, worst idea ever. You know, if I drew myself in everyone's art style, what if I ended the video with me drawing everyone in my style? Yep, so that's exactly what I fucking did when I drew everyone in my phone fucking art style and made this project twice as long, because what the fuck not? Why did my game right, gamers? Listen. This is my first scripted video, and I really wanted to make it a big, memorable one. So it felt like the best way to do that is to go both directions. Draw myself in their styles, and draw them in my style. And honestly, it was a lot of fun getting to draw all these different people. Though I actually drew more than just the artists. I drew anyone who was also involved with the art. Which, we will get to that Let's start by going the same order as I presented the art styles, starting with Daidus and Emirichu. Drawing these two in my style was so much fun. I thought it'd be cool to not only keep the Daidus blue line art, but I also made Emi's line art pink to match his. I also like to add my own flair to people's designs sometimes, so Daidus has squids in his eyes, and Emi has strawberries. She also has a strawberry hair clip and a cute little hertahoge. I feel really fits her kawaii as fuck aesthetic. Also, I feel like I drew Daidus really badass here by accident, but I ain't complaining. Now, this is where I think I went too far. Tanuki Lab, the lab of the Tanuki. The Toontown Travelers taking on Tanuki territory. As I stated before, they are a group YouTube channel of artists. So in my mind, it kind of felt wrong to only draw the people of the art styles I've used. That of course being June, GetMadz, Squid, and Alexasetto. If I was drawing them in my art style, I felt like I needed to draw the entire party of Tanuki. So that's what I did. So I drew the main members of Tanuki, the two artists, and their mascot Render. Was this a good idea? Probably not, but hey, at least it came out really cool, I think. It may have added a lot more time into this project, but it's fine. It's worth it, so no one got left behind. I had to reach out to Wibble to get their design because originally I was planning on only drawing the main party, but thought that wouldn't be very cash money of me. All artists deserve credit, goddammit! So I added Wiggle and Alex into. This was the longest drawing of this project by far, but I'm really proud of it. We got Cell Shock judging June for holding a yaoi cookie in their hands. By the way, I didn't know who Shadow Milk was until I drew this, and I feel like I opened Pandora's box of the gayest art I've ever seen. After June, we have Tricky Kappa jumping on Circle Tunes HD to fuck with Mads, because fucking with the British is always a good time. Side note, I didn't know what height to make Kappa, since in the Tanuki sprites they're all the same height, but didn't it feel right to make a Kappa the same size as a grown man, so I made him the size of Circle Tunes instead. And finally we have the artist of the sprites, Wibble and Alexasetto, along with the mascot of the channel, Render. Like I said, this was the longest drawing of the project, and really, I only needed to draw Mads, June, Wibble, and Alexasetto. But I said, fuck it, Weeball, and now I have a really cool little banner of all these really cool artists I'd love to watch and make the most deranged jokes I've ever seen.
Do we pick a sexy Pokemon?
Oh, go for it.
It could be anything you want.
I mean, yeah,
Anything.
what's
Nose pass.
Oh, yeah, nose pass. I like that guy.
Got two perfectly good holes to use. Team Nose.
And now we go back to art that doesn't take 10 years to finish, Jaiden Animations. I knew when I decided to do this that I was going to draw her VTuber design and not her YouTuber design. Her VTuber is just the coolest fucking thing in the world. I adore it, and I've been wanting to draw it since she first showed it off back in December of 2023. I remember being there for the debut and just gawking at how badass the design was. And when she went over the works in progress of getting to the finalized design, I was just so mesmerized. I think the only reason I hadn't properly drawn her until now is just because I kept forgetting. I don't know, man. I get easily distracted. Either way, I've finally done it, and I'm really proud of how cool and playful it looks. I also put diamonds in her eyes because she has diamonds on her chest, and I thought, that looks cool. Going from Jaiden, we have TerminalMontage. And when I first showed off the sketch in my Discord, my friend Perry said it reminded him of Larry Butts. So, oof. I was kind of worried about translating him into my own style. I didn't know if it would still look like him outside of his own cartoony art, but I think I did a good enough job of making sure he still looked like himself. And in his eyes, I put his derpy little face as his symbol, because when I think TerminalMontage, I think derpy little face. Man, I love Candy Evie's design. It's just the cutest. It's simple and clean, and drawing it was just fun. Take a shot every time I said the word fun in this video. Please don't, I don't want you to die. Her hair was especially fun, and the Evie ears. 10 out of 10 design would draw again. For her symbol in the eyes, I first thought about making candy, like rare candies, but ultimately I just made it a little squiggle like she has in her hair. I don't know if it makes her look insane or not, but hey, I think it fits well. Remember when I said I counted the crooked glasses drawing both GameGrumps and Lythero? This is why. Honestly, it was also just a good excuse to draw all four of them. So, I started with Crooked and Lythero. I was kind of worried about drawing Crooked because the ref I found just intimidated me with how cool and detailed it was. Then I found a drawing she did of her and Lythero, and all was right in the world. I decided to just redraw that drawing. Hopefully that's okay, I just really liked it. Crooked likes drawing people with sharp ears, so I decided to make that part of their design. I also gave them a serpent tongue. It just felt right. Lythero is really just a dude TM, so drawing him was chill. And getting to draw a hoodie is always a good ass time. And the Grumps. Since I redrew a drawing for the last one, I decided to do the same and redraw this piggyback drawing of Dan and Aaron. I used my own Danganronpa sprites I did back in the day for their design reference. Instead of them both having hard-working and pumped expressions, I instead decided to draw Dan struggling carrying Aaron, because in Aaron's own words,
a lot of fans keep sending me a small because they think that I'm a petite little boy. But I'm in fact a large fat man.
like I said before, I used to draw Ed all the time back as a kid. Drawing him here just felt so natural to me. Like I was drawing a short-haired version of myself. In fact, this drawing was the quickest one I did out of all of them, only taking me about 30 minutes to finish. And of course, I had to draw him with his lucky can of cola. It's his iconic drink. It's so iconic I put C's on his eyes for cola. Just want to say it one more time. Thank you, EddsWorld, for inspiring me when I was a kid. You're the best. ShinyCatherine and Edworm. I reached out to Ed to see if he had a persona design I could use, but he told me that he didn't have one and didn't really want to make one, so I respected that, but I still wanted to include his essence in the drawing somehow. So, Shiny Earthworm for ShinyCatherine. They draw her with sparkles in her eyes, so I decided to do the same here. I also didn't intend this, but the color palettes of Catherine and the Shiny Earthworm fit together so well, it was like it was destiny. Moxy was also really simple to draw. Just like Lythero, he's really just a dude with spiky hair. At first I thought about drawing how he looked IRL, but decided to just use his persona design, since it matched his current profile picture. For his eyes, I put 2 in one and D in the other. Pretty simple. Drawing his hair was a lot of fun. Reminded me of drawing Lucas from Mom the Third a bit. And once again, to end it all off, we have ScottFalco. Fun fact, while working on this project, he actually updated his design, so it's a good thing I drew him last. It would have sucked if I drew his old design and then he said, "Hey, by the way, I Mega Evolved, woohoo!" The design is giving a lot of, I was the protagonist and now it's your turn vibe. A real mentor-esque character. So, I drew him in a thinking pose to reflect his wisdom that he would give to the upcoming protagonist. I had to redraw the pose a few times to get it right. I kept being dissatisfied with how it was looking, but the end product is something I'm happy with. And now, for real, that's it. It's actually over. In total, I drew exactly 50 drawings on the dot for this video. What first began as a cute little quick video idea spiraled into an over 2-month project that I'm so glad I was finally able to get done. As I've been saying the entire video, it was a lot of fun, but man was it time consuming. Basically ate up all my free time that I had. I had a lot more artists on my list that I wanted to try the style of, so maybe I'll make a part 2 in the future. Or not. This took a while. Thank y'all so much for watching. Like I said earlier, this was the first scripted video I've ever done all on my own. If you liked it, commenting, liking, and subscribing would mean a lot to me. Also follow me on my socials. I post art quite frequently on them. I apologize for slurring my words a lot in this video, by the way. I'm not the best speaker, so hopefully it wasn't too unbearable to listen to me. I promise I tried my best. Scout's honor. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day. Don't forget to go fast, eat ass, go to mass, smoke grass. Bye bye.